Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Wemby fans, where are you at today? Victor Wembanyama stinks it up as LeBron and AD stinks it up. So what I'm talking about is this is the second time that Victor Wembanyama has played the Lakers and has not come out and showed up and showed out. And this guy will have one or two good games, and here's his fan base. Oh, man, what about Victor, man? You ain't said nothing about Victor, man. All this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I said, man, I need some consistency. That's what I need. Great players are consistent. That's it. That's it. There's nothing to figure out here. I don't know what you guys don't understand. Great players are consistently consistent, whatever you want, however you want to say it. They're going to put up the same numbers all the time. Michael Jordan is always going to give you the 30. LeBron is always going to give you the 27. Dominique was always going to give you about 25 to 30 points, depending on what year. Wilt Chamberlain always going to give you 40, 50. But these are superstar numbers. Joker is going to give you damn near a triple-double. This is all I'm asking from this guy is to be consistent. And when your half of your shots are coming from the three, as a center, as a 7'4" guy, it's not going to happen. You can't be consistent every single game. This guy is taking half or more than his attempts from the three-pointer. You can't be consistent like that, man. I don't understand what's wrong with this guy, man. I jumped on his bandwagon when he was a rookie. I said he was going to dominate. Now, even LeBron, all this hate towards this guy, and I give him a lot of hate. And you can call me a hater, whatever you want, but it's my hate. I can lay out the foundation for it, and I done laid out the foundation, and I laid out everything, where he should be getting hate. And even he knows in this weak era, the points are easy to get. And he's been knowing this since they changed the rules for him so he can score in 2005, going into the 2006 season when he finally makes the playoffs. So even he knows this. That was way back then. And this is why this guy is still playing today. Why is it so hard for Wemby to get the damn ball in the paint, deep in the paint? Who's stopping him? I just don't understand this. Who is stopping this guy from turning around and dunking? Or turning around and laying the ball in, deep in the paint? I don't understand. Who are the guys? Because LeBron knows there's nobody to stop me for 22 years from barreling down the paint. Barreling down the lane, into the paint, and getting these easy buckets. I mean, this guy takes three-pointers contested and bad three-pointers. This guy is literally playing like, I don't know, Steph Curry. "20 attempts." So this guy had the most attempts on his team. And I think he had the most minutes, which is, I would try to get him up to more than that. If AD is getting 35, and a lot of times LeBron is getting like 38 or something like that a night, I would get this guy more minutes, even though he is getting more minutes lately. He was 2 for 9 from three. 10 rebounds, which really isn't that good. It really isn't that good for a guy that young. If LeBron is grabbing 10 rebounds, he should be grabbing 15 rebounds. The problem is, this guy is never under the cup, really. Especially on the offensive end. This is just nuts right here. We can look up this stat for the season. He attempted 0 free throws. 0 free throws. So in this game, where's this game at? Oh, yeah, this game. 45% from the field. I just keep trying to tell you guys. 45%. This guy is shooting like 40, I think like 40-something percent for the season. This is like unheard of for a center. Should never be under 50% from the field. A center. If your center is shooting under 50% from the field, he don't need to be on the floor. A center or a power forward, at that, if a power forward or a center is shooting under 50% from the field, he shouldn't be on the floor. Never. That's unheard of. He shot 22% from three. Of course, 0% from the free throw line because he didn't shoot any free throws. And basically, that's it. He had 4 turnovers and these low 20 points. And I know this game was a blowout, but still, even in a blowout, which is nuts to me because you just played these guys. How many times did you play these guys already? Twice or once or this? I don't know. But let me see if I can see how many times. It seemed like they done played the Lakers 3 times. 1, 2. Only 2 times. They done played the Lakers 2 times. So I'm trying to find. Let me see. I'm trying to find here on the free throws. Hold on, my fault. This is a 24-25 season. Oh, man. It just stresses you out with this guy, man. I'm trying to get the totals on the free throws. This is. So he's only shot 53 free throws this season. 53 free throws. Let's do some comparison right here. I got to see this, man. I just got to compare that to somebody else because this is a 7-foot. Well, this is a center period that's supposed to be the next whatever. I want to see somebody else's free throws. Why are they going to this? Is it splits? We might not get to it, man. I was trying to see how many free throws LeBron shot, but they're trying to give me a whole bunch of. They're trying to give me his career numbers. Well, maybe I can still find it. So let me see if I can still hold on for 1 second. I think I can find it right here. No, I can't find it. But yeah, that's just staggering right there. 53 free throw attempts for this guy, folks. I think we can find where guards and point guards, right, done shot more free throws this season than this guy. Oh, here it is. So LeBron has shot 86 free throws. 86 free throws. And even if we take away LeBron James and let's go to Anthony Davis. Let's go to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis. What was that percentage? Anthony Davis this year has shot, get ready, folks. This year, this guy has shot 165 free throw attempts. 165. Oh, man, that's like double what this guy Wemby is shooting. What is going on, folks? And BJ Armstrong said something. I don't know if it was yesterday, but it's been going around the social media. how these guys are like robots. Everybody's playing the same game. Um, there's nothing to the game, and that basically who's coaching these guys? It's not the players' fault. And I would say that to an extent, but come on, man, these guys are supposedly making tens of millions of dollars and making record-breaking contracts for a league that is going down the drain. So again, I keep trying to tell people either they're not making this kind of money and they're just saying this so they can charge the fans all this money for popcorn, alcohol, parking, tickets, merch, and all this stuff, or they are making this kind of money and are literally pissing in the face of the fans. Not only the players, but the owners too, to pay these guys this kind of money for a product that's failing. And how are they getting this money to pay these guys this kind of money? You think you're going to get paid? Your guys at your job is going to get patted on the back and get rewarded and get record breaking contracts if the employees, because the employees are the reason why the company is failing? You just sometimes scratch your head like, I'm glad I wasn't born. I'm sorry. I'm glad I wasn't born and grew up in this era because they can't talk to me dumb. Now you got a lot of gatekeepers that will gatekeep a lot of this stuff because that's what they do. But um, I've told you guys before, BJ Armstrong, you should have came out and said the whole thing. These aren't real head coaches. These aren't real head coaches. And you see some of these coaches that came from that either played in the 80s, the 90s, or they coached in the early 2000s. They coached in the 90s. Blase blah. When the NBA was real, the NBA was a real, the NBA was a real basketball league, right? And the style of play was not crap. So when you see these coaches out here from those times back in the past, and you see them out here coaching a 3-point contest, and you're like, what? Doesn't make any sense. Because these coaches will be screaming at you back in the day for taking all these 3-point shots. These coaches, how do you coach this game? I don't understand. How do you coach a 3-point contest? I don't understand how it works. So they're not running real sets. What is the sets? What is I don't know. If everybody's playing the same style of offense, then the same style of defense is obviously going to be played. So what are you coaching? They could literally say, thank you, we don't need coaches no more. That's it. They don't need coaches anymore, folks. Why would they need coaches? Go back and watch some of these games in the past. The 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, even the early 2000s. Most of these coaches are going nuts. These coaches are screaming at players. They're throwing chairs. They're just going crazy because they're competitive fire, because they're real coaches, and they will chew you out for missing an assignment, for not playing defense, blah, blah, in front of everybody. And then when you come back to the bench, they'll be lighting a fire under you, then trying to teach you what you did wrong. Folks, these aren't real coaches. Why do you think that the remaining coaches that were remaining back in the day, LeBron didn't want to go play with them? Like Popovich. Because LeBron would have to play a style of basketball. LeBron plays a pickup street basketball. That's what he plays. And that's why at the end of the day he fails. He turned failure into stats. No other player, no other professional league has turned failure into winning by looking at stats. Nobody cares about that. And they're not dominant stats. When we talk about, oh man, this guy keep winning scoring title. Man, this guy keep winning rebound title. Man, this guy won all these steals titles. Man, these guy won all these assist titles. They're not dominant stats. 7 assists is not dominant. It's not. When we talk about dominant stats, we're talking about upper echelon. 10 assists or more per game in a season, that's upper echelon, folks. That's dominant. 12 rebounds or more in a season is upper echelon and dominant. 27 points, what is that? That's good. It's not great. It's not upper echelon and dominant. Don't get that confused, because that's what he can average on his team. More stats than his teammates to make himself look good. But none of those stats are upper echelon dominant. That's what his fans don't get. 27, 7, and 7 is not upper echelon dominant. And that's why it doesn't translate to winning in the ultimate game, in the finals. That's why the guy had to go build a super team, because his 27, 7, and 7 is not dominant. When you break it down, it's not, folks. It's not. If this guy was playing 90s defense, at 27, 7, and 7, he would not even made all the finals. Well, we know he only made all the finals because he had a super team. And like we told you before, he's never led a team to a championship. Man, what you talking about, man? What you talking about, Willis? Well, if you're playing with other teams' #1 franchise players, these are all #1s. Wade was a #1. Bosh was a #1. Kyrie was a #1. Love was a #1. AD was a #1. And all these guys were in their primes. Now, I'm not going to say Howard, but still, that's a super team with Howard. But even if we leave Howard out, we still got AD, Wade, Kyrie, Love, Bosh. So you don't come together with #1s to lead them to a championship, right? That's like Michael Jordan coming together with Barkley and Ewing and leading these guys to a championship, and all these guys are in their primes. Did we really ever say that when the Big Three Celtics won the championship? Did we ever say that? Ray Allen led them to a championship? Or did we say Kevin Garnett led them to the championship? What about Paul Pierce? Paul Pierce led them to... No, nobody said that. We said the Big Three won the championship. Yep. Nobody led them. Yes, I think Paul Pierce won the MVP, Finals MVP. But that's it. Paul Pierce didn't lead them to no damn championship. So LeBron already, what do you want to call the word? Conceded, right? He conceded the fact that he was not a leader, and that the only way he could win championships is just to play together with other leaders, other #1s. That's what he conceded to that. So as much as they've been trying to keep LeBron's name in the mainstream media, he's never been a #1 on his team. Or he's never been, they've been trying to make it like that to sell it. And that's why you always hear, man, he need more help. He need more help, because he's not a #1, folks. When we go back to Cleveland the first time, right? He had to go play with he had all kind of #1s on his team. Elgauskas was a #1 when he came in there. Of who else was he got, what's this guy's name? Boozer was a #1. Boozer came. Did Boozer come from another team? And then he left. He was like, I'm gone, bro. These dudes is crazy. Antoine Jameson was the #1 on his team when he came over there. Ben Wallace basically was the #1 over there in Detroit when he came over there. I don't think Ben Wallace came straight from Detroit. Ben Wallace came from somewhere else in 2008. Shaq was the #1. I can't remember. Was Kyle Korver #1? I can't remember. I can't remember this guy's name. Oh my God. But he played with a lot of #1s. Yes, a lot of these guys might have not turned into Hall of Famers or anything like that, but they were #1s on other teams. Right? And that's why when you see the list of all-stars he played with, yes, they might have not have turned into Hall of Fame players. And most of them could have, right? If he would have actually won championships in Cleveland the first time. Most of these guys could have been Hall of Famers. So This guy has played with nothing but number ones of other teams. And then when you go even further, when he build these super teams, he's playing with other teams' number one franchise players, right? It's the difference. Number ones of other teams who, they were all-star players, but, they didn't end up, you didn't look at them like, Hall of Fame players and nothing like that. They were just number ones on sucky teams, but they were still number ones. And then you go to playing with other teams' number one franchise players who are going to be future Hall of Famers and stuff like that. We had that graphic one time. He played with all these, I don't know, he played with 4 or 5 number one overall draft picks. And then when you go to the top 5, it's like crazy, man. It's like 20 guys. Top 5 overall draft picks in the first round. It's crazy. So yeah, this guy is pretty much a handicap, right? He's I don't know how to explain it, man. It's just weird. Like, people don't see this. This guy's never, when we talk about guys who, even in his own era, you could say Curry did it twice. He led a team to a championship twice without without other number ones. He did that, and without a super team. And then when you look at Joker, he did that. When you look at Giannis, he did that. So, I don't know how to look at it when I look at the Celtics. I don't know if Porzingis was a number one back in the day, and I don't know who the hell the leader is on that team. They say it's Jason Tatum, but you got other guys winning Finals MVPs, and Tatum is getting benched in the Olympics. It's just crazy, man. I won't partake. Some of these players have no balls, because I would not be coming off the bench if I'm supposed to be a top guy in the NBA. I ain't coming off no Olympic bench. If I'm supposed to be the next Michael Jordan, I'm not coming off the bench. Either I'm starting or I'm not playing. Or I'm just not a top guy. They try to confuse you in this era. Anthony Edwards this, Anthony Edwards that. Hold on, bro. You didn't even place in the FIBA? In the fake Rondo? Won the championship? Schroeder? In the German Plumbers? Hold on, bro. You had Ingram. You had Halliburton. You had Paolo Banchero. You had a slew of guys, man. And you didn't even get a medal? And then the turnover king told you could play on the Olympic team if you come off the bench? Michael Jordan ain't doing that, bro. These guys are all hype. Are all hype. Something just tells me, like, if you go in the locker room with these guys are like real feminine. I'm trying to it's obvious to me AD is. It's obvious to me AD is. I don't think he can really hide that, man. Let's get off of that before we go down a deep hole. I don't mean that. Let me take that back. So yeah, we'll jump back into Victor Wembanyama. But yeah, man, LeBron has never led a team to a championship game, and he's never been a leader on a team. All he's been was another number one amongst the number ones. So I think I did a video on that before. So yeah, I mean, for AD and LeBron, I wouldn't say they have bad games. I mean, LeBron didn't have a good game. He really didn't have a good game. He was in there stat padding. This is something that I don't know, man. This is shameful. This is embarrassing. This is something that's been going on his entire career. In the waning moments, in a blowout, whether you win or you lose, this guy is out here stat padding. This is crazy, man. It just shows what kind of character this guy really has. And at this point, why would you expect anything less from this guy? If he's been doing it all of his career. And everybody sees it. You know the media ain't never going to call it out. The game is over. And he does it in a win to make himself look better. He does it in a loss, not only to make himself look better, but because he don't want to be on the bench and be facing the music, right? While they're panning the camera on him. And in a loss, when he's out there stat padding, as soon as it's over, he just walks off the court. He don't give the opponents any love or anything like that. But when he wins, guess what? He's all in the opponent's face and, happy as hell, congratulating him and or yeah, congratulating them on them losing, he feels good. I mean, this is like a piece of trash guy, a piece of trash human being right here, man. Won't even let his own teammates soak in some of this glory or just get in the game, whether it's winning or losing. This guy has to stay in stat padding. This is sad, bro. How could you ever be a teammate of something of a guy like this, man? You want to go play with LeBron? Nope. For what? What would be the purpose? This guy, you're not playing with an all-time great as far as top 10. You're not playing with a guy who tells the truth. You're not playing with a guy that's really a number one. We talked about this. He's just playing amongst number ones. And because I think nobody really wants to be the face of this NBA. Let's face it. They could have made anybody the face of the NBA a long time ago due to this guy's failures. And the fact that Joker is not the face of the NBA after winning 3 or 4 MVPs and basically about to win a 4. And now, I mean, when do you wake up and promote this guy? When is this guy going to be the major headline every single day, like LeBron James has been for over 2 decades now? And LeBron was the main headline before he even won a championship or before he won an MVP. And after he was 3-6 in the finals, after he was 2-4 in the finals. I mean, I don't understand what you really have to do to to eclipse a loser. If you can't eclipse a loser by now to be the face of the league, then I don't think you can. You got all these guys out here outperforming him since the 2020s. And I'm talking about in basically in stats. And that's all these guys talk about. They're not talking about his winning. They're talking about his stats. So if you have guys out here performing him in something that's all you talk about is stats, then what's so I don't understand. What keeps him as the face of the NBA? If the one thing he ain't better at anymore is stuff in the stat sheet better than these other guys, then what is there to talk about? Him running the court? You should be asking yourself, bro, why are you running the court with $1 billion? That's what you should be asking. You ain't never catch it. Even if this guy got 6 rings, now he's 6-6. What? And then we're still looking at the statistical titles and the all this stuff. That he doesn't match Michael Jordan, he doesn't match Kareem, he doesn't match Magic. Look, Bill Russell only got 4 statistical titles, and Bill Russell still has more than this guy. And actually, Bill Russell would have more. Really, he would have like 3-4 Defensive Player of the Year. Maybe 3-4 block titles. Bill Russell still has 5 MVPs. I mean, what is it? I mean, the NBA. I'm starting to think that is maybe not this guy right here. Maybe I'm thinking it's the NBA holding this guy hostage. Seriously. Because every time Michael Jordan won a championship in the on his three-peat, they were begging him to come back. Oh, you're coming back next year. Blah, blah, blah. Every time he won a championship. They would be talking to Phil. They'd be talking to Pippen. And this is why they wanted Jordan to come back. Because what they were doing was so great for the game. They weren't just winning championships. They were winning the conference. They were dominating. They were playing basketball the right way. Offense, defense, everything. Who the hell wants this guy to come back the next season? He's always this. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to come back next year. Nobody cares. And then the media is there acting like, oh, man, let's put a diaper on this guy. He's crying again, man. Change his diaper. Get him a hot bottle. He crying, man. He ain't going to come back next year. Nobody cares except for you guys, because this is the only way you can sell your job in the NBA is by this guy. And it's basically by a loser. So all these networks have made all this money off of this fake GOAT debate, off of these fake stats, off of this fake winner, off of this fake leader for all these years. And that's all these guys are hitting on. Yes. ESPN, Fox Sports, all these people, and even more, YouTube platforms now made all this money off of losing. Off a guy that's a loser, a poor sport, not a leader. I try to tell you, man. They told us in 212 what the Mayans say. It want the end of the world. Remember, everybody was these fools was quitting their jobs, selling their houses, going to Mexico for the end of the world when that sun came up in 2012. Um, and they said it was going to be the end of the world, all this crazy stuff. But the prediction was everything was going to start going backwards, right? The world was going to start going backwards. And if you look at it, it really has in a way. The music is bad, awful since the 210s, awful, awful. People not even using a real voice. There's not real instruments. The beats suck. Um, Everything. Music is bad. Sitcoms is bad. Movies is bad. If I say, um, what else? Everything is just bad, man. Sports is bad. It's just like seemed like every person that was at the highest level of the things I mentioned that was producing this stuff um and helping moving this stuff, they're gone. They left those industries, right? Because you just can't have the artists, you just can't have the players, you just can't just have the movie stars. You got to have producers, executive producers, writers, all those people, coaches. All those people are gone, and now you just have mediocre talent. If you don't believe me, go listen to some of the 2000s music, the 90s music, the 70s music, the 80s music. It don't matter which genre it's in, whether it's, soul music, rock music, alternative, country music, hip hop music, pop music, whatever. Go back and watch old NBA. Go back and watch old movies. Go back and watch old sitcoms. Go back. And all that. Today it's all gone. It was supposed to get better. Remember, they told us, oh man, when we get to the 2020s, man, you're going to be in flying cars. Everything going to be futuristic. Nope. Nope. Ain't nothing futuristic about this. What, you got a touch phone? They had touch phones like in the early 2000s. What, you got a touch screen in your car? Man, they had that in the early 2000s. You ain't got nothing futuristic. They gave you social media. That's it. They gave you social media to destroy your brain and keep you busy about what's real. Think about it. Look at the holidays. The holidays ain't nothing like it used to be, man. You know why? Because the United States ain't nothing where it used to be. It's a whole demographic now. Most of the people that live here don't even know what Thanksgiving is. They never celebrate Thanksgiving where they came from. So happy Thanksgiving. And it just everything that's weird now just coincides with the whole LeBron James era going into the 210s and how things are in sports now. It's bad. And I was telling you the other day, I said, man, the Yankees and the Dodgers are in the World Series. That's crazy. That would have put the presidential debate basically on the back burner. Nobody would not have cared about that in the early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. That would have been the biggest thing. Baseball used to be the number one American sport. That World Series this year just passed by like it was nothing. That ought to tell you where sports is. And I won't go over why it's like that. We don't talked about that before. It's basically greed, but yeah, I'm not impressed by Victor Wembanyama, man. This guy, 9 for 20 from the floor, 2 for 9 from, like we said, from the three. Half of his shots came from the three, basically, and half of his attempts is coming from the three. This year, only 20 points. I mean, these guys is out here. When I first seen him last year, I was like, try to get this guy the benefit of the doubt. But all the hype surrounding this guy, I was like, what the hell is going on? Because this guy is out here just running around and not really. I don't know. He just don't even look like he's trying to play positional basketball. And I was thinking, what the hell is going on with Pops? Why is this guy just running around? How come this guy ain't on the post? And now this year, yeah, just go sit down, Pops, man. This is, I see why this guy had a heart attack. I mean, how could you coach something like this, man? These aren't real coaches, man. And we talked about these aren't real refs. They don't call carry, travel, carry, travel, because it would expose these players making this kind of money. It would make no sense. And it would expose these guys as real great NBA players. I mean, you just can't go to a pickup game at the YMCA or your park and see guys carry and travel like they do today in the NBA. You just like when you watch basketball back in the day, that's what you would expect, right? When you went to the park back in the day, the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s, and you saw guys carrying and traveling, you'd be like, bro, you just carried. Bro, no, hell no, you just traveled. I mean, even they would call it out back then, right? But that's where you would basically only expect to see that stuff happen consistently or even happen. Today, are you if you don't see these guys travel and carry all game, it would be weird. It would be weird. These guys basically come down the court, dribbling the ball chest and shoulder high all game. They're putting their palms underneath the ball all game. They're taking all these steps all game. So it's whatever, man. And you look at the rest of the NBA yesterday, these guys look like they were just going through the motions. Um, you just had, good teams losing to bad teams. The Suns lost to the Nets. I ain't gonna say the Thunder's a bad team. Curry didn't even play in that game. These guys not showing up to work no more, but making these record-breaking contracts for what? Of course, Joel Embiid don't want to show up to work again. The Cavs lose to the Lonely Hawks. It's just these guys just want to go home. I guess they didn't want to play basketball. So this NBA is weird. I'm trying to tell you, man. So tell me what you think.